Hi, I'm Mark Nutting, and I'm here at Jiva Fitness with the Jiva Fitness Move of the Week. Today, I'm going to talk about the Romanian deadlift. Romanian deadlift is a very common movement in group power, which is a program that we teach here at Jiva Fitness, but it's also a really common movement in any strength and conditioning program. So how we start with this is a foot width stance where the width is hip to shoulder, somewhere in there, a nice strong base. Your knees are going to be slightly bent. That will vary on the individual, but the fact is that once we start the movement, your knee angle doesn't change. So a little bit of a bend and it stays there. And that's exactly what we're doing, is we're going to take this and tip from that position with a flat back or a neutral spine, however you want to describe that, but it's really tipping over and going only as far as your hamstrings are going to let you. At a certain point, you'll feel them stretch. That's your end point. Everybody's going to have a different one because we have different levels of flexibility in the hamstrings. Common mistakes with this: first, here's the movement. Go down, feel the stretch. Come on back up. Common mistakes are locking the knees, and you don't want to do that, so they're slightly bent. But also thinking about, if I want to get farther down, I focus on the bar. And if you focus on the bar and trying to get the bar down, then you've lost your back position and you run a greater risk of injury. The other thing is that when we come up out of the movement, a lot of people feel like they want to finish and push their hips forward. Unfortunately, that also puts a lot of pressure in the low back, and you really want to avoid that as much as possible. So it is tip to find the stretch, back up to the neutral position, standing. Now, the movers in this, what gets you moving, control you down and gets you back up, are the glutes and the hamstrings. You're gonna feel this in the low back, and that's okay, because the muscles along the spine in the back are stabilizers. And you're gonna feel that stress in those muscles in the low back as you do this movement, and that's okay, within reason. You just have to know, is it working or is it harmful, and you'll feel the difference. The last thing really is your head position. Your head position should be fairly neutral, like the whole thing, your whole system is tipping here. It's really like that dunking duck toy where the sticks his bill in the water and comes back up. The whole spine tips from that one point. And this, as you watch me do this and come back up, it's a hinge at the hip. And that's what it's also called, is a hip hinge. It's one of the many ways of doing hip hinges. But coming down and coming back up. Now, the other thing about this is there other movements that can happen with this position. Once you find this position, knees slightly bent, tipped, neutral spine, you can do rows from here. You can do what we do is also call a biceps row, where you're pulling into the chest, getting biceps as well as back, or a little more emphasis on the biceps. And you may also find, using dumbbells or plates or whatever you're using, we can also take that position and then do flies from there. So that position is a good base position where your back is as safe as it can be, and that's essentially what the Romanian deadlift is all about, is maintaining that neutral spine, hip hinging, stopping when you feel that stretch in the hamstring. Thank you very much for being here. I'm Mark Nutting. This is Jiva Fitness with the Move of the Week.